We're back for our college football best bets here for week number 7. If you missed it earlier in the week, we predicted every single week 7 college football game. That will be linked in the description down below. So go check that out again. Over 4 hours of college football predictions as we go over every single game. But today we will have our 10 best bets here for the entire week. Money lines and spreads, starting with the Friday games, and then on, of course, to that full day of Saturday college football action. And folks, before we get into the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more college football content here on the channel. Also on the channel, we've got our daily MLB best bets, plus our weekly NFL predictions, plus our NFL best bets will be posted tomorrow for both money lines and spreads and player props. Those are coming out in the channel tomorrow, so you're not going to want to miss that. Also on Greedo Plays MMA, we have our UFC Fight Night Oliveira versus Gamrot full card predictions plus best bets over there right now on Greedo Plays MMA. Okay, on to the first of our 10 best bets for Friday and Saturday for college football here in week number 7. If you want to see what we do on Wednesday and Thursday, I know, again, that's past now, but go make sure to check out our predictions at the beginning of the week every Monday at 4 o'clock. We post 4 o'clock Pacific, 7 o'clock Eastern. We post our college football predictions. Okay. On to the first now of our 10 best bets for week 7, kicking things off on Friday. First game of the day, South Florida on the road in Denton, Texas to take on the North Texas Mean Green. We're going with USF. Guys, North Texas is good. USF is just better. This is a huge game. Huge game in the American Conference. We talk about it all the time, about how the American Conference is most likely getting that bid to the postseason. There's an outside chance a UNLV or a Fresno State could take it in the Mountain West, but to me, it's pretty much the winner of the American Conference will get into the playoffs. Will that be South Florida, Tulane? Will it be North Texas, Memphis, Navy? I do not know, but it's probably going to be one of these 5 teams that will represent the group of 5 in the postseason. Again, if not, it'll probably be UNLV or Fresno State. Anyways, though, I'm taking South Florida to beat North Texas. This comes down to I don't think North Texas will be able to outscore South Florida. And that's obvious, right? It's football. I just think South Florida is better. I look at what North Texas has done this season, and Drew Mestemaker has done an amazing job replacing Chandler Morris, who obviously went to Virginia this offseason. Mestemaker, first year starting at North Texas, has been phenomenal. This team, though, their defense really scares me sometimes. And I get it. The Army game, stylistically difficult matchup. I just feel like if Army's scoring 38 points against you, and if Army had a chance to win the game in the fourth quarter against you, I believe South Florida should be able to do the same thing and just roll over you guys. South Florida's offense is good. It's been good for most games out the year. I mean, okay, they had a defensive game against Florida at the Swamp. Oh no. They couldn't score at the Hard Rock against Miami. Big whoops. Against Boise State, they scored 34 points. Against FCS South Carolina State, they scored 63. Last week against Charlotte, they put up 54 points. Byron Brown, one of the best quarterbacks in the American Conference, 200-plus yards through the air, 160-plus yards on the ground. South Florida can move the football, and they are a ranked team for a reason. Obviously, they have the two huge ranked victories already this season over both Boise State and against Florida. And again, North Texas is a team that could be right there in the rankings, too, at 5-0. Their victories, though, 51-0 against Lamar, 33-30 in overtime in Kalamazoo against Western Michigan. Okay, that's a team, though, doesn't play, they're good defensively. West Michigan's offense is not great. And if you're giving up 30 points to that offense and going to overtime with that team, again, I think WMU might win the MAC. I don't think so. But they play defense like a lot of teams in the MAC. Well, NIU does. But I don't know. I'm not sold on that game. And I get it, you go on the road there. But still, you blow out Washington State 59-10. If you get Wazoo on the road, or at least Wazoo going to the road, that team's I'm not scared of Wazoo at all. Going to Army and having a competitive game and almost losing, but going to overtime with them at West Point and winning. All right. And then South Alabama last game, a bad South Alabama team. You win 36-22. A South Alabama team we played against last week, obviously. We took App State money line, and of course that cashed. Anyways, I gotta go with South Florida here, guys. It's even money, but South Florida is just the better football team. I get it. The game is in North Texas. This is the more proven team. This is the team that has won against AAC opponents so far. And I get it. It's only been the Charlotte 49ers, but they're 1-0 in conference play. And Byron Brown's gonna make the difference here, guys. I like Drew Mestemaker. Drew Mestemaker is yet to play against a really good defense. Yes, West Michigan's a good defense, but not a really good defense. And I don't know if I can say that. I've said that about South Florida yet. But holding Boise to 7 points, holding Florida to 16 points, they gave up 49 points to Miami. That's one of the best offenses in the country, and one of the best teams in the country. Guys, if the rankings were accurate, the Miami Hurricanes would be the #1 team in the country. And that's South Florida's only loss. So I'm not really concerned about that at all. I do really believe in the South Florida team. I think North Texas is good. I don't think they're top 3 in the American Conference. I personally believe that is, I'll just say it, 1 South Florida, 2 Memphis, 3 probably Tulane. But again, we will get to that point eventually. Because dude, Memphis, that team, Brendan Lewis. I don't know why Nevada chose Chuba Purdy, but Memphis is great. USF goes there in a couple weeks. This is a fun game. Don't get me wrong. I expect points. I just believe USF is going to be able to outscore them, and I think, again, the Bulls will get stops when needed. I don't know if I can say the same about the Mean Green. I'm going to take the USF Bulls on the road to win this game. Give me Byron Brown and USF to go on the road and beat the North Texas Mean Green, -110 for South Florida. We move on now to our second best bet of the video. We go to Colorado as the Fresno State Bulldogs go on the road to Fort Collins to take on the Colorado State Rams. I know last week Fresno did not come through for us. It looked like in the late second quarter and on early in the second half, we were going to cover at home against the Nevada Wolfpack, but Nevada did something that they should have done a long time ago, and that's bench Chuba Purdy. They go to Carter Jones. Fresno doesn't really know what to do against Carter Jones, and Jones plays a decent game. Fresno only wins it by 3 points, and that's okay. Again, I mentioned it a couple minutes ago. The teams I believe have a chance to go to the playoffs are the group of 5. It's the 5 in the American, and it's Fresno, and it's UNLV. Oh, San Diego State. They don't stand a chance. They go to Fresno in 2 weeks. That's not going to go that well for them. I'm telling you, the Fresno State Bulldogs are really good. I fully believe in this team. I think the progression and how E.J. Warner has played recently has done huge things for Fresno State. I mean, how E.J. Warner played in the first 2 weeks of the season, first 3 weeks of the season, to now, it's night and day. He's moving outside the pocket. He's escaping the pocket. He's running when he needs to, and he's making all the throws they need him to make as well. And of course, I mean, we can't talk about Fresno State without talking about their 2 main backs. That's Bryson Donaldson, and that's Rayshawn Luke. Elijah Gillum has been completely kicked to the curb, but that's okay. Donaldson's got 77 carries already this year. Rayshawn Luke's got 54 carries. They use both of their running backs quite a bit, and E.J. Warner, again, you can call him a game manager, but that's exactly what Fresno wants him to be. They want an experienced guy who's played at Rice, played at Temple, to come here and just lead his team to victory, and that's exactly what E.J. Warner has done this season, except for a loss in week 0 against Kansas, and that's fine, because since then they've beat Georgia Southern, they went to Oregon State and won, they beat the Southern Jaguars, they go to Hawaii and win, and they beat Nevada. They're taking on Colorado State, a team that already struggles to score the football, and now they're playing a really good defense in the Fresno State Bulldogs, and a team that's just struggled as a whole this season. Guys, they made the quarterback change, but, I mean, do you need to go back to Braden Fowler-Nicolosi now? That may need to be said. So they bench Fowler-Nicolosi for Brosau, and I don't know. Jackson Brosau's just been okay. And also they got Darius Curry, the freshman out of Long Beach. I don't know if they're going to play him or not. I don't know what's going on with Colorado State. They're a mess right now. And what I can tell you about Colorado State is they just won't score in this game. Last home game, and like I said earlier, if you get Wazoo or Wazoo's on the road, you're probably going to win. Not Colorado State. Wazoo goes to Fort Collins and beats them 20-3. Again, scoring has been so difficult for the Rams this season. Except for week 1, where they went to Washington and actually scored 21 points. Since then, I mean, it took a Herculean effort in the Northern Colorado game for them to beat FCS Northern Colorado, who's probably most well known for being the school where Justin Gagey has claimed to wrestle at. He actually did wrestle there. But anyways, they lost to UTSA, who's decent, but they lost by 1 point to UTSA at home, lose to Wazoo 20-3, and they just lost to San Diego State on the road 45-24. Yeah, they're at home against Fresno, but has home games really helped the Rams this season? Not really. I mean, they've won 1 game all year long, and we're talking about Fresno like they're a potential playoff team, because that's exactly what they are. Again, I love the ground game. I love what E.J. Warner's been doing recently, and again, how about this defense? Defense has been really good. Guys, Mike Alejado and Hawaii, they're decent, and they picked off Alejado multiple times. He had nowhere to go with the ball. They pick-sixed him. Shout out to Thunderbird, linebacker on the defense. I mean, look at the point totals these teams have been putting up. Georgia Southern scores 14 points in the first half against Fresno, and they don't score after. Fresno wins at 42-14. Hawaii, 21 points. Nevada, 17 points, and Nevada's 14 of those 17 points were scored in the second half or late in the second half. I love Fresno in the spot here. 6.5 points, that's okay, because, guys, Colorado State's going to barely be able to score. I know Fresno hasn't covered this line in their last 2 games. I'm telling you, Colorado State is much worse than Hawaii. They're worse than Nevada, especially now with the Nevada quarterback change and getting rid of Chuba Purdy at the helm. Colorado State's one of the worst teams. They might be the worst team you can play in the Mountain West because, yeah, I know Air Force is sitting down there at 0-3 in the conference, but nobody wants to play the Air Force Falcons right now just because of the way that they can score. So, no, I do firmly believe, actually, Colorado State is the worst team right now in the Mountain West. It's crazy because last year they were one of the top teams in the Mountain West. I get it. It did feel like kind of a Mickey Mouse run because they didn't need to play Boise, nor did they play UNLV, and the one good team they ran into was Fresno State, and Fresno State beat them, but it is what it is, a upset San Jose State when Horton got injured. It was a weird year for the Rams, but they have completely fallen back down to earth here in 2025. And again, quarterback controversy and whatnot. I'm taking the Fresno State Bulldogs, go on the road to Fort Collins and cover 6.5 points. We go to Saturday, the only game I have in the very early morning session at 9 o'clock, or at least noon on the East Coast, 9 out here on the West Coast. Give me the Alabama Crimson Tide, -2.5. I feel good about this, guys. What Alabama did a couple weeks ago makes me very confident that they're going to shut down Missouri this week. And I get it, Missouri coming off a bye, and Ahmad Hardy is the #1 back in college football right now. I get it. He's got 100 carries for 730 yards and 9 touchdowns. I get it. It is insane. This newfound confidence in Alabama, though, I mean, look at how this team's playing right now. And I get it. They're going through their gauntlet of ranked game after ranked game after ranked game, and eventually, right, the team's probably going to slip up and lose. It's not this week, though. Maybe it's next week. Maybe it's against Tennessee. 3rd Saturday of October. I mean, maybe it's then. I don't know. That game's back in Tuscaloosa. And I get it. I mean, this is a difficult matchup. You got to go to Missouri. You got to go on the road to play this team in Columbia. I think they're able to shut down the run. And ultimately, that's what this game comes down to. I get it. Georgia saw some success running the ball. Vandy didn't really run the ball all that well against Alabama. And I get it. Vandy's #1 run threat is 100% Diego Pavia, but still, I like Alabama here, man. The Crimson Tide are playing extremely well. They proved me wrong in the Georgia game, and they've been fine ever since. Sure, they played one game, but they look good against Vanderbilt. Game days at Tuscaloosa. It's the biggest game of the week and a very weak college football week 6 slate. Do not get me wrong, but Ty Simpson is playing like one of the best quarterbacks in college football. You got to give credit to the guy. He goes to Athens, he plays well, and they win. Last week against Vandy, he throws for 350 yards, and they win. Bama's offense right now is firing on all cylinders. And yeah, Missouri's looked good this season. Who has Missouri beat? South Carolina? Kansas? They haven't beaten a real good SEC team yet. And here's my thing with that, too. Missouri's going to give up points. 31 points against Kansas. 20 points against South Carolina. Okay, again, we've been over that this year with the Gamecocks. Lenora Sellers is good. The rest of the team isn't. I think that Missouri's going to give up points here. I really think so. I look at last week, or 2 weeks ago, they beat UMass. I mean, they beat UMass. Who cares? You know? Essentially, I mean, they knew they were going to be the UMass game. UMass they are legitimately an FCS school. There's a reason they are underdogs on the road in Kent, Ohio this weekend. And I wanted to put that in the video, but I just can't. I can't with a straight face tell you the Kent State Golden Flashes are a best bet, so I stayed off it. Anyways, you haven't played a real football game in about 3 weeks. Because you knew what was going to happen in the UMass game. I mean, again, UMass is horrible. So you really haven't played a real opponent in 3 weeks, and you're welcoming in Alabama? And I get it. Missouri football, I mean, they're pretty good again. I get it. Last year, 9-3 year. Remember what happened when they went to Tuscaloosa last year? And I get it, games in Missouri this time, but yeah, they lost 34-0. And this was supposed to be the brand new Missouri with, Cook and whatnot. And I get it. He was hurt that game, and I'm pretty sure Luther Burden didn't play that game either. It's just, I don't know. I can't fully put confidence in the Missouri Tigers. I mean, when's the last time Missouri's beaten Alabama? I mean, it's definitely not in this decade. I don't know if they've beaten this team in the last 15 seasons. I mean, I could be missing something off the top of my head. I'm not a Missouri fan. I'm not an Alabama fan. But this is such an uphill climb for this school. And I get it. If you're ever going to be Bama, it's going to be right now. At home with a guy like Ahmad Hardy. I don't believe, man. I don't. Alabama went to Georgia and won. You're telling me they're going to go to Missouri and lose? That's simply what this comes down to for me. Ty Simpson's playing phenomenal football. They have a running back now in Jam Miller who's back and healthy, who's playing phenomenal football too. The defense is good enough. I mean, hey, holding Vandy to 14 points, and I get it. Again, Pavia is literally everything for that offense, but they shut him down. They shut the run down. Why wouldn't I take the Alabama Crimson Tide here? Cover 2.5 points on the road. Sign me up. They are better than the Missouri Tigers, and they will prove it this weekend. Give me Alabama minus 2.5. On now to our fourth best bet of the video. You knew we were going to it. You absolutely knew we were. Indiana Hoosiers plus 7.5. I want to go money line. The smart thing to do is the spread. Okay? Everything else, if they win, we're partying. But give me the Hoosiers. Guys, they're not scared of Oregon. That's what this comes down to. They are not scared of Oregon at all. Why would they be scared of Oregon? I mean, look at what, guys, the Oregon win over Penn State all of a sudden, it's not that great. It's not that great. It's not. I mean, look at what Penn State did last week. You lose to UCLA on the road. I mean, again, not to discredit what Oregon's done this season. I think they're good. I don't think they're great, though. That's kind of harsh. I think they're great. I think Indiana's just better, is what I should just say. And it is the truth. Guys, Indiana's had a bye week going into this one. And I get it. Oh, Oregon had a bye week, too. That's fair. But Indiana has been off, and they have been preparing for this game. And I don't think Oregon's able to outscore this offense. I just don't think so. Yeah, Oregon shut down Drew Aller. Oh. Here comes the best quarterback in college football, Fernando Mendoza. I mean, guys, Curt Cignetti has lost one game so far as the Indiana Hoosiers head coach. 2 games, sorry. Ohio State, Notre Dame. And if Oregon's the third, one hell of a third team to lose to. I get that. But 7.5 points is just too many. Oregon goes on the road last week to Happy Valley, or 2 weeks ago to Happy Valley, and they win by 6. That would cover. I think Indiana's going to win, but I'm going to take the points here. Guys, it's the best offense in college football. I said earlier about how Miami's one of the best offenses in college football, one of the best teams in college football. Indiana's right there. Everything they've done this season has proven that they are elite. Fernando Mendoza, 1,200 yards, 6 touchdowns, 1 interception. And I get it, Dante Moore is really good too. This is a battle of elite quarterbacks in the sport. I completely understand that. But I'm going with the Hoosiers. Guys, there are 3 first-round picks at least on this team. Fernando Mendoza, Elijah Sarrett, and of course, Pons. D'Angelo Pons. Yeah, 3 really good guys. Obviously, the defense. Guys, can we talk about that D-line from Indiana? It's rated as one of the best defensive lines in all football, all college football. The offense is elite. You have a great 1-2 punch running back. Roman Hemby's going to get most of the carries, but Kalen Black will get some too. Kobe Martin, some as well, potentially, but it's really just Hemby and Black. But Roman Hemby's great. Fernando Mendoza is elite. And yeah, is Oregon good? 100%. Oregon has ran through every single team that has walked into Eugene this season. 59-13 to Montana State. 69-3 against OK State. 41-17 against Oregon State. They have not played a team like Indiana yet. They haven't. This is you don't understand how big of a game this is for Indiana. It's a big game for Oregon. It is. I mean, Indiana, guys, I'd argue this would be the biggest win in Indiana school history if they go on the road and beat Oregon. I'd argue it is. Because you win this game, you basically have punched your ticket to the playoffs. You've essentially punched your ticket to the Big Ten championship. I mean, they need to take care of Michigan State and UCLA and Maryland and now Penn State. But I'm not scared of the Penn State game anymore now, right? I mean, they're going to get in regardless because they'll beat Penn State. And I'm pretty confident they will go to Penn State and win. So the floor is 11-1 this year. But, I mean, how about them Hoosiers, man? That win at Iowa, they only won by 5 points at Iowa. It was going to be 7 if Mendoza didn't run at the back of the end zone. You got to understand how difficult a game like that is. Games like that, it's at Iowa on the road. They're going to hold you, and Indiana found a way to win. Mendoza fires that ball up the middle and cover 0 to Elijah Sarrett, looks up to the heavens. That's the Heisman moment. Sarrett has 156 of them. Mendoza 233 passing yards. Roman Hemby had a game. They had to use Hemby quite a bit. Don't forget what Indiana did to Illinois. They can score, and they can score at will. They're going to punch Oregon in the mouth and upset them in Eugene. But again, We still have 7 points. Indiana is too good of a team to be underdogs by 7.5 points against anybody in the country. No matter where the location is, they are too good to be 7.5 point dogs. They will show up and they will go to Eugene and they will win. But again, if they don't, hey, we have 7.5. So I don't care. Again, I would sprinkle an Indiana money line, but is that a best bet? Probably not. Give me Indiana plus 7.5 on the road. Give me Mendoza. Give me Surratt. Give me D'Angelo Pons. Give me Kurt Signetti. The Hoosiers will come through on the road. Next up, we go to the Red River game. Oklahoma, Texas, from the Cotton Bowl in Dallas. Give me the Sooners. I've been waiting for this game for weeks. I told you weeks ago, Oklahoma, as if you get Oklahoma at plus money, absolutely fire against Texas. And I get it. Oh, Texas is going to be amped up for this game. They will get up for a game against Oklahoma, sure. Yeah, John Matier might play now. So again, I'm recording this video a little bit early. You're seeing this on Friday at noon. I'm recording this video about 17 hours prior to that. As of now, John Matier is questionable. Will he play? I don't know. Even if he doesn't, I still took Oklahoma with Michael Hawkins. Like, I think they win regardless. But if John Matier plays, oh boy, is that just an added bonus. Guys, the number 6 ranked team in the country is not on the road. It's a neutral site game in Dallas. The number 6 team in the country, out of the SEC, the Oklahoma Sooners, are playing in a neutral site, and they are underdogs against unranked Texas, who just lost by 8 points to Florida. The same Florida team that lost to USF this year, same Florida team that had their quarterback throw 5 interceptions in Baton Rouge. Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. That team is favored to beat Oklahoma. Have we watched what the Oklahoma Sooners have done this year? Have we watched? Defense is phenomenal. John Matier is elite. Now, we will see if he plays. Obviously, the thumb surgery after the Auburn game. It did not play last week against the Kent State Golden Flashes, and that's the type of game they needed Michael Hawkins to get in before playing Texas. But now we're seeing, oh, Matier might go. And even if it's not Matier, I still have full belief in Oklahoma. I look at Texas, and I am not impressed. I am not impressed with Arch Manning, right? I think Manning is a decent quarterback. I think he's an SEC quarterback. Is he an elite SEC quarterback? The answer to that question is 100% no. He's not elite right now. The rest of the team isn't bad, but you can't run the ball anymore. Hell, they haven't ran the ball all year long. I mean, look at all the success Wisner had last year. They've had no success in the ground game this season. Hell, last week, Arch Manning was their leading rusher with 37 yards. They look like the Kansas City Chiefs some games, but Arch Manning's not Patrick Mahomes. And again, just look at the way Oklahoma's played this year. That defense shuts everybody down. And I get it. Oh, is Michigan some offensive powerhouse? They're not, but holding Michigan to 13 points, that means something. Holding Auburn to 17 points, that means something. They have held decent offenses to low numbers. And again, Texas, a decent offense, Oklahoma will hold. And I do care if Matier or Hawkins plays. I believe, again, right now, this minus 105 odds reflects a, Michael Hawkins start for Oklahoma. If it's Matier, I think we get this at about minus 110. No, minus 120-ish. I think Oklahoma will be a slight favorite if John Matier, who is one of the best quarterbacks in college football, plays. And if he does, again, that's awesome. I have even more confidence in Oklahoma winning the football game. But even if it is Hawkins, I don't care, right? I mean, I went into the week fully expecting Matier not to play, right? That's what on Monday or Sunday night when I made the video, and going into this week, I was like, I don't think Matier is going to give it a shot. If he does, awesome. If not, we're completely fine with Michael Hawkins. Well, here we go. Now is a chance. Both guys give the Sooners a chance to win. Matier obviously gives them a better chance to win. But we're fine here. Trust me, we are fine. This defense is going to shut down Texas. This is the biggest game Arch Manning's been in. And I know we say this almost every week. Oh, it's another huge game he's been in. But obviously he went to the shoe and he scored 7 points. And now you get, the Red River Showdown in Dallas. It's obviously an annual game they play every single season. And I think Oklahoma gets it this year. Last year, again, Michael Hawkins in Oklahoma had trouble beating Texas. They lost. Obviously, they scored 3 points. 2 years ago, though, Dylan Gabriel played, and Oklahoma won the game 34-30. It was a great game. Texas was ranked 3rd at the time, and Oklahoma won. So, again, it's a rivalry game. I expect both teams to get going for this one. I just think Oklahoma outscores Texas here. And again, I say that quite a bit, but it's, the obvious thing. I think Texas offenses will not show up against Oklahoma. Guys, this is the same offense that scored 27 points against UTEP. Liberty earlier this week, if they could just do anything over plus territory, they would have scored more than Texas did. They scored 19 points because they kicked 4 field goals, right? Like, if one of those field goals turned into a touchdown, you've almost scored the same amount of points as Texas did against UTEP. And Liberty did that on the road in El Paso. I'm not sold on the Longhorns. They don't run the ball. Arch is all right. He just needs more time. And this is a massive game they're playing at the Cotton Bowl against Oklahoma, who potentially is getting John Mateer back. Gotta go with the Sooners. Give me Oklahoma at the Cotton Bowl, Red River game, minus 105. The Oklahoma Sooners beat the Texas Longhorns. On to our 6th best bet of the video. Again, sticking in the 1 o'clock hour. We have quite a bit of stuff at this hour. Go to the Big 12. To Manhattan, Kansas. Texas Christian plays the Kansas State Wildcats. Going with TCU. Guys, TCU's lost 1 game this season. They lost by 3 points on the road at Arizona State. I say it all the time, going to Tempe and playing is just different. I have seen it for my many years watching college football. I have seen great teams. Like, I'll always remember when Oregon went on the road to play Jaden Daniels and N'Keal Harry and Brandon Ayuk of Arizona State, and Oregon was a top team in the country. They were projected to go to the playoffs at the time, and they went to Tempe, Arizona, and they lost, okay? That is a tough and difficult place to play. That is Texas Christian's only loss this year, and we had Arizona State that week. I just want to make that be known. But that is the only game that they have lost this season. On the road at Arizona State by 3 points. Other than that, they blow out North Carolina, who they're talking now about buying out the Belichick contract. At least that's what's being rumored. And North Carolina's, saying, no, it's not happening. I don't know, don't care. TCU outscores SMU 35-24. And last week, a huge win at home against Colorado, 35-21. Again, a lot was made of their 4th and 8 touchdown with 12 seconds left to put them up by 14 points. But it is what it is. They win the game by 14 points. That's what it says on the final box score. TCU's got a good offense. Josh Hoover is a proven quarterback. He's an experienced quarterback. This season, 1,500 yards for Hoover, 15 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. They're going to air it out. They've got a really good receiver in Eric McAllister. This is a difficult team to beat. K-State has not been good this season. I'm not buying into the fact, they beat UCF at home. I don't care. I do not give a damn. And did they look better last week against Baylor? They did. Only lost by 1 point on the road in Waco. Avery Johnson threw for 344 yards. They had an opportunity at the end of the game to kick a game-winning field goal to potentially win the game from, 50-something out? From 53 yards out, they had a chance to kick a field goal to win the 56 yards, to kick a field goal and win the game. It was blocked. It was no good. That's okay. I know they play a tough game at Baylor. Baylor is good. I've been kind of iffy on that team this season. I get it. Sawyer Robertson's very up and down. Some nights he's great. Some nights you just kind of want a little bit more. Josh Hoover's experienced. Texas Christian's good. And that is a real, that's a blow. That's a horrible loss you can take if you're Kansas State. I mean, you have struggled all year long. You lost a close game. You go all the way to Dublin, Ireland, and you're a favorite to beat Iowa State. You lose. You barely get by UND, of FCS school, in week 2. You then lose to Army at home. You go to Arizona to the Wildcats and lose. You beat UCF at home because UCF's just weird. I don't know. And then you just go to Baylor and you think you're going to get one. Another very close game, another one-score contest, and you lose. Guys, if Kansas State's on the opposite side of all the one-score games they've played this season, they're a 5-1 football team. And yes, that means they'd be on the other side of the North Dakota game, but that should just go to show to you that they have not been able to close games. They've not been able to win close contests this season. Texas Christian's passed every test other than the Arizona State game, but I'm telling you, watch the North Carolina game, watch the SMU game. When this team gets going offensively, they are so difficult to stop. And I think the best example is the Southern Methodist game. I know Southern Methodist's defense leaves some to be desired at times, but Josh Hoover throws for almost 400 yards in that game, and Eric McAllister has over 250 receiving yards just in one game. I mean, that means something. That means quite a lot. They are a very talented team, trust me. And that offense, again, they can move the ball downfield. Josh Hoover is an experienced starter, obviously start all of last season for Texas Christian. I like the Horned Frogs quite a bit. I'm not going to buy into Kansas State. Again, I'm not going to pick you just because you've been close, just because you've been right there Okay, I mean, yes, that is great that you've been, again, competitive in games, but what else does that show me? It shows me you can't close games. That shows me you can't finish games, and that's exactly what Kansas State has not been able to do so far this season. Texas Christian has won the close outings. Well, kind of. I guess the Colorado game was close. They've been able to win games, is what I'm going to get to here. And they've got a really good receiving core with a really good quarterback. I'm pretty confident that Texas Christian can go on the road and win this game. I'm taking minus 115 on the money line here for Texas Christian to go on the road to K-State and win. Did Avery Johnson play his best game of the season last week? He did. He threw for 350 yards on the road in Waco. They are going to completely come crashing and falling down to earth right now. So I'm going to be going with the road team. Give me the TCU Horned Frogs to beat the K-State Wildcats in Manhattan, Kansas. On to our next game, our 7th best bet of the video. We are running it back with the Mountaineers of Appalachian State. So another game of the 12:30 hour. It is our final game of the 12:30 hour. But yeah, I'm going to be going with Appalachian State here. What a win last week. And there is a quarterback controversy. There's a quarterback competition going on right now in App State. At App State, it's AJ Swan and it's JJ Cole. Both of these guys were on the injury report earlier in the week. As of Thursday, they are both off the injury report. I believe you have to start JJ Cole. AJ Swan was a starter to start the year. This is a guy who started some at Vandy a couple years ago, backed up Garrett Nussmeier last year at Louisiana State. JJ Cole was at Iowa State last season. Obviously did not play over Rocco Becht. He transfers to App State. He's a sophomore. I think you got to start JJ Cole given what he did last week. I think AJ Swan's a capable quarterback. He just can't hold on to the football, though. Had an amazing week 1 against Charlotte, but as we've seen, Charlotte's not very good. Played all right against Lindenwood, played well against Lindenwood, and then really played a poor game against USM, or Southern Miss, on the road. Threw for 200 yards, but threw 3 interceptions and 0 touchdowns. And then last week, or 2 weeks ago against Boise, 2 weeks ago against Boise, did not play particularly well either. He gets injured in the Boise game, and on comes J.J. Cole to play, and J.J. Cole has been very good. He got injured, I believe, in that game. That's what carried him, the injury, into the Oregon State game. Anyways, J.J. Cole last week against Oregon State, completion percentage-wise, not great, but, throws for 220 yards, touchdown, manages the offense quite well. Dude's 6'7". He's a big dude. I think you got to start J.J. Cole this week. As of, again, Thursday, App State is undecided on who their starting quarterback is. Ultimately, their biggest threat is their running back, Rashad Duwan. He's got over 600 yards rushing this season. He has been phenomenal so far for the Appalachian State Mountaineers. I don't know who the starting quarterback is going to be. I hope it's J.J. Cole, but if it's AJ Swan, that's okay too, because we're betting against Georgia State here. I mean, as much as I am saying, Appalachian State's going to win, we liked how we won last week with them against Oregon State, and they were good for us. Ultimately, though, the reason we took App State last week wasn't entirely because of App State. It was because of how bad the Beavs have been. And I'm not going to go back to that well this week. I almost did. I was close to picking the Demon Deacons of Wake Forest. I just don't love them going on the road, and I think Oregon State has to win a game eventually, even though I do believe Wake Forest is going to win. Do not get me wrong. Georgia State this year is a 1-4 football team. Their only win is against FCS Murray State, and look at their losses. Sure, have they played 4 really good teams this year? They have. Ole Miss, they lose 63-7. Memphis, they lose 38-16. Vandy, they go on the road to Nashville and lose 70-21. Last week, they did hold JMU to 14 points. Great. You scored 7 points. Their offense is horrible. And does that have anything to do with the fact TJ Finley showed up in week 2 and took over the offense? It kind of does. If you don't know, TJ Finley has been around quite a bit of college football teams. Last year was supposed to be the starter at Western Kentucky. He did start the first game in Tuscaloosa against the Alabama Crimson Tide, and then they benched him for Caden Vetkamp, who's now at Florida State. If you don't know, again, TJ Finley has been with a million schools. LSU, Auburn, he was really good at Texas State. I was really impressed with him at Texas State. He goes to WKU, gets benched, goes to Tulane, was supposed to be the starter this year. Obviously, Retzlaff is now because he had premarital sex at Brigham Young. But anyways, TJ Finley gets cut from the team, essentially, at Tulane. They take back his scholarship because he stole somebody's Dodge Ram. What? And Georgia State's like, you can take your Dodge Ram over to Atlanta. We'll take you. You're our starting quarterback. He did that mid-year, and immediately they threw him into the starting role. They said, okay, Christian Velix, don't want him. Cameron Brown, nope. We want TJ Finley. Oh boy. Now, will TJ Finley get the start this week? I assume he is. I think Cameron Brown might be better. Might be. I don't know. Cameron Brown's actually played fairly well this season. I get it. Some of it's been garbage time, but Cameron Brown has 400 yards and 5 touchdowns and 0 picks so far this year. He was a Texas Tech transfer, was backing up last year. Why not give him a shot? I get it. You're kind of paying TJ Finley some money, and TJ Finley was supposed to be a prize product, 4-star, 5-star player. He's a 6'7" quarterback, and the talent's supposed to be there, but he's never really made it work other than that 1 year at Texas State where he was phenomenal. Should have stayed there. I'm telling you, 2023 TJ Finley at Texas State, my goodness. That dude ran the Sun Belt that year. Texas State is a very quarterback-friendly place to play, do not get me wrong. But I'm going to go Appalachian State here, guys. The Texas State offense has not been good this season. And is that TJ Finley's fault? Not entirely. They don't run the ball at all. Their leading rusher, I mean, in back-to-back games had 25 and 30 yards. And, yeah, I mean, it's Rashad Amos. Like, it's, oh, man. But it's not like they're playing amazing defenses, you know? I mean, I can't back this team at all. They have had a problem scoring the football all year long. Nothing changes here against Appalachian State, who's got a decent defense. I get it. App State hasn't won on the road yet this year, but at least they've won games. Again, the difference between these two teams is that Georgia State hasn't been able to win games. So obviously, I'm going to go with the Mountaineers on the road to go to Atlanta, Georgia, and take down the Georgia State Panthers. Give me Appalachian State here on the money line, -120 for App State to go to Atlanta and beat Georgia State. On now to our 8th best bet of the video. Let's go to the Mountain West. Last week, we took San Jose State at home to beat New Mexico. Now we're taking them on the road to beat the Wyoming Cowboys. I am back all in on San Jose State. I was all the way out after they barely got by the Idaho Vandals at home a couple weeks ago. But they go to Stanford, they lose, but Walker Agette throws for 500 yards, and I am completely back on the San Jose State hype train. I have to be. Now, next week at Utah State, short week on a Friday night in Logan. I don't know if I like that for them. We'll talk about, spoiler, we're going to talk about Utah State later in the video. But I do like this spot here for San Jose State. Wyoming, and I said this during our predictions video, but it's the same thing can be said here. Wyoming has got a good defense. They've got a really good defense. Go back and watch the Colorado game, the Utah game. Hell, the Utah game, guys, you know how much I like Utah and Devin Dampier. I'm not going to talk about them this week, at least for the best bets, because they're going to beat Arizona State, but 5.5 points is kind of ridiculous. So, again, though, I like Utah State a lot. I'm a huge Devin Dampier guy. You've heard that a million times from me this season and last year, too, when he was with New Mexico. But Utah scored 3 points in the first half against Wyoming in Laramie. Yeah. And sure, they ended up winning the game 31-6. They scored 28 points in the fourth quarter, in the second half, in the third and fourth quarter. But that's a good defense. Are you going to be able to stop this team, though? I mean, I don't want to say San Jose State's offense is better than Utah's. It's a little bit of a different style, though. I mean, Utah's going to try to run everybody at you. They're going to run Devin Dampier. They're going to run Wayshawn Parker. They're going to run Hunter Andrews. They're going to run everybody at you. They're going to use Rodgers. I'm taking SJSU here, though. I mean, guys, look at this team right now. Look at the way they are playing. Look at how Walker gets thrown the ball, and I can't believe they've did it again. Last year, Nick Nash won the Triple Crown, got robbed of the Biletnikoff. He led college football in receiving yards. How about Danny Scudero? Scudero, so far in 5 games, has 665 yards. He leads all of college football in receiving yards. That's more than Mekhi Lemon from USC. That's more than Chase Hendricks from Ohio and Parker Navarro. That's more than Trent Walker from Oregon State, who's legitimately their only receiver, Malik Murphy's only receiver in Corvallis. Danny Scudero is number 1. And sure, does Walker get kind of play like Matthew Stafford sometimes and just stare down as number 1 receiver? Like, obviously, Stafford is done with Calvin Johnson, Cooper Kupp, and now Puka Nacua. Sure. But they're getting the job done, man. Scudero last week, 151 yards. And this is my question I have to ask. Can Wyoming keep up? The answer is no. I know SJSU is going to score against everybody, okay? And we've seen that this season, except for Central Michigan. But, you know, the offense is back now. The only problem with SJSU that I have is their defense. It's not very good. Like, their thing over the last couple of years has always been, oh, their running D is really good. It's just our secondary needs to come through. I don't know if that's entirely the case now. My problem with Wyoming, though, is that they don't score. Their offense is not very good. Guys, Wyoming's a 2-3 football team this year. They beat Akron on the road. Again, that can be a tough game. Again, going to a MAC school, cross country, it is what it is. They find a way to win 10-0. Then they beat UNI, Northern Iowa, in week 2. and then a 31-6 loss against Utah, 37-20 loss against the Colorado Buffaloes, and then a 31-17 loss last week against UNLV. Scoring has been difficult for the squad. It has. Caden Anderson is kind of doing his job at quarterback. They have 2 running backs they go to in both Samuel Harris and Sam Scott. They have 1 receiver. I'm serious. It's Chris Durr. Chris Durr has 300 yards this season. The rest of the team has, well, I guess everyone else is a lot. But like Jackson Holman's their second leading receiver at 94. Sam Scott's got 93. Jalen Sargent has 88. So it kind of paints you a picture of what Wyoming is. And as much as I want to say, Walker get eyes in and just completely looks for Danny Scudero every single time, SJSU's got other receivers. Kyrie Scholes has 350 yards through the air. Leland Smith has 229 yards through the air. Their tight end, Jackson Cannon, has 180 yards through the air. I mean, everyone can get involved in the offense, passing-wise. Now, their run game, whole other thing. Jabari Bates and Floyd Chalk have really not been a big factor. And at last game, they went a lot to Steve Chavez Soto through the ground or on the ground. But they're a pass-first team. They know what they want to do. And I think they're going to give a lot of problems to Wyoming here on the road. So I do believe quite a bit in San Jose State. This should be a big victory for them. They're going to continue to be the spoilers, I believe, all year long in the Mountain West. And I know what you're thinking. Well, they can still win the Mountain West. They can, but I'm talking in terms of postseason hopes and whatnot, because this team lost in week 1 to Central Michigan. They went to Austin, Texas, and lost to the Texas Longhorns, and they lost to Stanford as well. So on paper, you see a 2-3 football team. They might not appear to be all that great. No, they are very talented, and they are very good. Give me SJSU on the road in Laramie to beat the Wyoming Cowboys. That again is priced at -120 on the money line. On to our 9th best bet of the video. Let's go to Tucson, Arizona. My same logic doesn't completely apply here, because we always say, right, ranked teams don't go to Tempe and come out, right? I mean, that's where ranked teams go to die in Arizona State, but it's okay. Tucson, Arizona is the site of this Big 12 matchup between the number 18th ranked Brigham Young Cougars and the Arizona Wildcats. Arizona, UFA, is yet to lose at home this season. They are 4-0 this year in Tucson. A 40-6 victory over the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors, a 48-3 victory over Weber State, a 23-17 victory over K-State, and a 41-13 win over Oklahoma State. Have they played a very weak schedule up until this point? The answer to that question is yes. I have to agree. But you can say the same thing about Brigham Young. You can. Guys, I do not buy the BYU hype at all. I do not. I do not buy it. Did I think last week they were going to beat the Mountaineers of WVU? 100%. I thought they were going to beat West Virginia. I don't think West Virginia is that good either. But I've been watching Brigham Young this season, and it has not impressed me yet. The ECU victory is great on the road, but, it is what it is. That's a group of 5 team. Watch the last 2 games. And WVU, actually, no. There's one game you need to watch. It's the Colorado game. Guys, Colorado should have beaten Brigham Young. They should have won that game. They choked it at the end. There's a big play where Caden Salter has a 50-yard run to get Colorado into field goal range and into scoring territory late in the 4th quarter where they could have taken the lead, and it gets called back because Draylon Miller gets called the holding that didn't even affect the play. I mean, was it Draylon Miller? No, it was Omari. I think it was Omarion Miller, actually. I'm pretty sure. I think it was Omarion. It might have been Draylon Miller. I think it was Draylon Miller. It was. Colorado had that game. Bear Bachmeier played his best game as a quarterback last week, right? Bear Bachmeier, who wears 47, the number 47, it's kind of odd. It's kind of funky. You're watching a quarterback wear that number. It is what it is. Played his best game as a quarterback, though, or just as a starter, obviously, just in general in college football last week. 351 yards, again, against WVU on a Friday night. But Brigham Young was always expected to win that game. And now the Holy War is next week between Brigham Young and Utah. And I believe Utah is going to be rolling into that game with a lot of momentum. I don't know if I can say the same about BYU. If they both win this week, oh man, that should be game day next week. That should be fire. But anyways, I believe BYU is going to slip up and lose here. You got to also think too, they know who's on the schedule next. Their biggest rivals, the game they play every year is, in Salt Lake City, 45 minutes northwest of Provo. You got to take on Arizona first, and an Arizona team that can get you. Guys, Arizona, I get it, Fafita doesn't have Ted McMillan no more, but he's been doing a decent job this year, guys. It's weird. Fafita was really good in 23 as a freshman, took a huge step back in 2024 with Teteroa McMillan still on the roster, and 2025 so far has been very good for Noah Fafita. Has he played bad teams? Sure. This is the game where he gets to step up. Look at what Noah Fafita does last week. And I get it. Again, it's Oklahoma State. Fafita throws for 400 yards. How about Luke Weissong, the New Mexico Lobo transfer, with about 100 yards receiving too? This Arizona offense has shown up. I know they lost one game at Ames against Iowa State. Okay. You know what? Iowa State's a good team at home. On the road, I don't know. I think they're going to struggle at Boulder this week. I think they're going to win, but I think that's going to be a difficult game for them, right? But I look at what Arizona's done so far this year, and this is a team that can score. I mean, their run game is off and on, sure, but I'm not impressed with Brigham Young, and that's been a thing that it's a critique on BYU that I've had all year long. Well, it's just that I don't think they're all that great. They haven't beaten a really good team. I watched the Colorado game, and I'm just like, probably should have lost that game. Colorado choked a huge lead. They were up big, and even when they did blow the lead, okay, Salter runs for a big gain and just gets called back. Seriously, a play that could have changed that game. And yeah, again, Bear Bachmeier, he's had his best game throwing-wise last week. He is always a threat on the ground. Do not get me wrong. Bachmeier can take off. They have a really good running back in LJ Martin, but Martin's low-key taking a step back on the ground recently to Bear Bachmeier. That wasn't completely the case in the West Virginia game, but 100% in the Colorado game. That was all Bear Bachmeier on the ground. I don't know. I don't believe in BYU that much right now, and especially on the road, taking on Arizona, where next week you got to go. The game's in Provo, excuse me. It's not in Salt Lake next week, but still, you got Utah on the schedule coming up. That is your biggest rival, and that game's in the back of your mind. I don't love this spot for them in Tucson. I think Arizona gets them, and I really believe, and I like how Noah Fafita has played so far this season. So I'm going to be going with the Brigham Young Cougars to lose on the road in Tucson against the Arizona Wildcats. On to our final best bet of the video. Let's move to Honolulu, Hawaii, as we have got the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors and the Utah State Aggies. I mean, this is becoming one of my favorite pastimes right now. Fading Hawaii. Staying up, for the late night game. Game doesn't end until 12:30, 1 o'clock my time. And, watching on the Mountain West app, the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors play late night football. I'm taking Utah State. Guys. Big positives have come out of the Utah State camp earlier this week from Logan. Bryson Barnes officially off the injury report. Perfect. Absolutely what they needed. Bryson Barnes has played good football this season. I know they're back up. Jacob Conover, former quarterback at Brigham Young. But Bryson Barnes is their guy. 2 weeks ago, again, Utah State's coming off a bye week last week. They did not play week before they went to Vandy and lost by 20 points to Vandy. They covered. Hey, great teams win, good teams win, great teams cover. Shout out to the Utah State Aggies. They put up 35 points in Nashville against Vanderbilt. That's an SEC school. You're going to take that. Bryson Barnes has played a phenomenal 2025. After a year last year where, it was back and forth. Oh, who's the starting quarterback? Is it him? Is it Spencer Petras? Petras ultimately got more run than Bryson Barnes because Barnes wasn't playing great. He's played phenomenal ball this year. Again, don't forget, Bryson Barnes, former starter at Utah, had to take over due to a Cam Rising injury at one point in time, and they pushed him out the door because Rising, he's back again for his 17th senior season. Well, no, Bryson Barnes has played well at Utah State. This is his senior year, but he's played pretty good so far this season. 1,200 yards through the air, 11 touchdowns, 1 interception. He gets sacked quite a bit because their O-line's not the best, but Utah State, they score, and they just get into shootouts. Look at what Utah State's done so far this year. A 28-16 victory against UTEP, a 44-22 loss at Texas A&M, it is what it is, a 49-30 victory against the Air Force Falcons, a 48-7 victory over McNeese, and last week, again, putting up 35 points against the Vanderbilt Commodores, but losing 55-35. I'm telling you, though, this offense can score. The defense, we'll see. Their defense has been good so far against mediocre offenses, and I'm talking about the two mediocre offenses they've played. Actually, they're probably, relatively speaking, for the rest of the FBS and the Mountain West, bad offenses. I'm talking about the McNeese Cowboys, obviously out the FCS, and UTEP, who, is horrible. If you want my thoughts on the UTEP game, go check out Greedo Plays Clips on TikTok. I posted about it a couple days ago, actually yesterday. Anyways, though, Hawaii, I know they can score. Last week, going to Colorado Springs and taking on Air Force. Mike Alejado with 457 yards through the air. That's great. Better defenses than Air Force will shut down Alejado. They will. I think Alejado's good. I don't think he's great. I think he's just one of these gunslingers from Hawaii that you see that, play late at night and kind of get forgotten about. And at the end of the year, you see, oh, wow, he's got this many yards. I mean, it's just what happens. I don't know. I don't want to completely go at Braden Schrager because Braden Schrager was really good. Actually, I'm not going to go at Braden Schrager at all. I don't think Alejado's better than Braden Schrager. I think Alejado's good. I don't think he's great. He makes some questionable decisions with the football. I mean, watch the Fresno State game. There's some balls that's why are you throwing that? Throwing that into double coverage and, and here's the thing. If you blitz Alejado, yeah, you put Hawaii in some trouble. And if I'm Utah State, that's exactly what I'm doing here. Now, again, I believe Utah State's the better team. Who has Hawaii beat this season? The Stanford victory, I'll give them credit, is great. You played Stanford at their worst, though. By far their worst. Branson didn't know what the hell he was doing. Frank Reich probably didn't even know what the hell he was doing on the sidelines. That's the worst you're ever going to get the Stanford Cardinal. I'm not even trying to sell you on that, oh, Stanford's all that great. It's just that was the worst Stanford there's going to be this season. You barely get by Sam Houston, who is god-awful. You barely get by Portland State, who is the worst FCS school in the country. You lose to Fresno State. Oh, final score is 2 points. It was 8, and then Hawaii put together a bullcrap drive at the end of the game, that weird Hawaii 2 a.m. magic, at least out here, and they didn't get the 2-point conversion, so Fresno State and E.J. Warner won. And then last week, 2 weeks ago, you go to Air Force, and you put up 44 points and win 44-35. Do me a favor and look at every single Air Force game this season. It is the same script. It's just like the Hawaii game. Air Force puts up a lot of points, but they don't win. And they give up a lot of points because they don't have the defense. I mean, that's why we took Air Force spread last week against the Army. It covered, against Navy, excuse me. It covered, but Air Force, scored a lot. Couldn't get a stop. Lost 34-31. That's just the story of Air Force's year this year. They're probably going to do the same exact thing in Allegiant this week against UNLV. But I'm going to be going with the Utah State Aggies, guys. I've been very impressed about how Bryson Barnes has played this year, and I just checked again. Bryson Barnes is officially off the injury report. That means he's 100% a good to go to play in Hawaii this week. Again, I think Conover's a pretty good quarterback too, but obviously Bryson Barnes is the starter, and Bryson Barnes is the best quarterback on the roster. So I'm very optimistic for Utah State in this spot. I think they are one of the better teams in the Mountain West, truthfully. They're 1-0 in the conference, and sure, it is only Air Force, but they have a pretty big game next week, and it's a game that I'm going to be looking forward to quite a bit. I mean, hopefully, again, undefeated in the Mountain West, Utah State versus undefeated in the Mountain West, San Jose State in Logan next week. That's a big game on Friday night, so I can't wait for that one. But for now, yes, I'm going to be going with Utah State to win the game on the road at Hawaii. I think, again, if you send pressure on Alejado, he's going to make mistakes, and I just don't think he's as good as people think he is. And he's still extremely young as well, so he's only going to improve. But for now, yes, Utah State's the better team, and Bryson Barnes has the experience, been there, done that, won big games before in Salt Lake City with Utah. I think, again, Utah State should be able to get it done on the road in Honolulu. Folks, thank y'all for watching our college football best bets, our 10 best bets here for week number 7. If you have not yet, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to comment. If you did disagree with any of the picks, we'll be back tomorrow for our NFL best bets. We'll have at noon, likely at noon, our NFL best bets for money lines and spreads. And then later in the day, probably 5 o'clock Pacific PM, obviously, we will have our 5 best player props for week 6 of the NFL season as well. Folks, thank y'all for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. And Mamba, forever.